Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video we're going to talk about why we swell when we're using the Hyaluron device afterwards. A lot of people are writing to me asking me what's going on, how come I'm swelling, they get scared, they've got these big poofy lips and they don't know why. So I'm going to tell you how I would deal with that and I hope it helps. Before we start the video, I hope you press subscribe. I'm here to help you. I want you to feel confident using the Hyaluron device. I think it's an amazing device. I do carry product and supply, so you can feel free to reach me at lc@hyaluron-kween with a k.com. That's my email. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions or you need any products. We're going to discuss number one reason why we swell when we're using the Hyaluron device. We need to talk about the quality of the device. I've said this before in other videos. It is a medical device and you are inserting product under your skin that will last a few months. So this is depending on what viscosity your product is. If you're using a thicker filler, it'll stay longer, or a thinner filler, it'll stay less long. But the point is that you are inserting product under your skin. Hyaluron Kween is for use with the Hyaluron device. This is going to help with easy penetration and lasting results. Product loss can be a real big problem, and that can also happen with the lower quality pens. So you do want to make sure you have a good quality pen. The quality pens matter. It causes swelling. Sometimes the pressure is too strong or it's off and you're setting it at a certain one, but it's releasing in a stronger pressure than it should be. It causes a lot of bruising. It causes a lot of product loss, and it's just not recommended. I don't recommend buying cheap items when you're using them for aesthetic reasons. It's not just temporary aesthetic. This is something that will last in your skin for a few months, so we want to make sure that you use the right stuff and that you're safe using it. Also, someone who's using it who's uneducated about the device, if you've never had training or you don't understand what hyaluronic acid really is or does to the skin and the reasons why it lasts a certain amount of time, an untrained person might not know or understand how to adjust the pen properly, which can cause a lot of bruising and swelling as well. You can also hurt yourself. So you want to make sure you know what you're doing and how to use the pen, and you understand the function of it, you understand the pressure, you understand the product, what it's doing, and also make sure you're buying a trusted product. Be careful where you're buying products because you want to make sure it's an injectable and not a serum. Serums are meant for the surface of the face and injectable is meant to be injected into the face. So that being said, make sure you do your homework before you start injecting things into your face. It could be very dangerous. I don't want you hurting yourself. Another reason we might be swelling is because you're using too high of a pressure when you're using the device. If you're adding too much product in one session. If the device pressure is too high, not only will it cause swelling, but it will cause damage to the tissues under the skin and will cause swelling and bruising. And scar tissue happens when there's been trauma that has happened to the skin. So you want to be careful. You don't want to cause any kind of scar tissue under your skin. So you want to be really careful when you're injecting. So what you want to do is you want to keep the amount of product, don't forget you can always add product. So you want to be aware of how much product you're adding into, like let's say a lip. If you're doing a lip, I would only do 1 ml per time per session. And if I want more, if I want to add in 2 weeks, no problem. When the skin is healed and you have no more swelling or no more tenderness to the lip, you can add a little more. If you want them bigger, no problem. An average area takes about 1 to 2 mls. So you can put 2 mls in the lips, but you want to do it in 2 sessions if that's the case. It's just safer and it'll create less trauma to the skin. It'll mesh into the cells with more ease, and it'll actually rejuvenate and rehydrate rather than cause any kind of scar tissue or trauma to the skin. What you can do to help swelling, you can ice the area before and after. I always advise to ice after. That's a must, or else the swelling will go out of control. But icing before swelling as well will also help constrict the blood vessels, and it'll help control the swelling while you're working as well. Swelling can happen immediately after the treatment. It usually lasts 2 to 3 days, but it can take up to a week to go away depending on how strong the pressure was used, how long the treatment lasted, and it also depends on how quickly you iced afterwards. It depends on how much product you've put into the skin. So it has a lot of different kind of reasons of why you would swell, but icing before definitely helps to keep the swelling down. So when the session is done, you want to ice for 10 minutes, about once every hour. Drink plenty of water. You also want to avoid any exercise on the day of treatment because you're jumping around, your blood pressure gets a little higher, you're Your blood vessels tend to swell a little bit when you're working out because of the higher heart rate you get. So you just want to not work out for about 24 hours after your treatment. The good thing is, even though swelling is quite common, it's a very common side effect that happens when we're injecting fillers, whether we're using the Hyaluron device or we're using the needle method. It's very common to have swelling. So even if it happens, you don't want to get too scared. It's something that is temporary and it will go down. And with the proper techniques, with icing before and afterwards, with the proper use of the pen, with a good quality pen, all these things can minimize any of those effects that you might get. And let's not forget, hyaluronic acid can also take up to about 2 weeks to mesh with the skin properly and take its effect. If you do have signs of infection, 24 to 48 hours, like warmth of the skin, redness, pain when you're touching it, and or a fever, you want to seek attention immediately. You want to seek medical care. You just want to make sure everything's all right. You don't want anything to lead to an infection. Infection can happen if you're working in an unsterile environment or you haven't used a sterile ampoule. That can happen as well. Dirty hand. Afterwards, make sure when you've done your treatment and it's healing, you want to put some aftercare cream on it or Vaseline. Afterwards, don't touch it with your hands. Make sure your hands are clean if you have to touch the area, because that can cause infection as well. You have injected product into the skin, so you want to make sure it remains clean for at least 48 hours. So you want to make sure that whoever's doing your treatment, whether it be yourself or someone else, make sure you're getting your treatment done in a clean and sterile environment. It's very important to prevent infection. Make sure your aftercare instructions are very clear. You want to fully understand what's going to happen when you go home or afterwards when you're done the treatment a few hours later. You might have a little swelling, redness, all these kind of things are very common in the first 24 to 48 hours. So if you do have any of these symptoms, try not to panic. Ice the area. Like I said, don't massage them because that will only induce swelling and cause a little bit more tenderness to the area. You don't want to touch it, just leave it alone. Within 24 to 48 hours, you'll see the swelling begin to slow down. It's going to go down. Within 48 hours, you're going to see the hyaluronic acid starting to mesh with the skin, and it's going to look great. So these are all some reasons why we might swell. I hope this video helped. If you are doing it on yourself, make sure you understand the function of the pen, the device, and the product. It's really important. And you also want to understand the possibilities of the side effects and the aftercare as well. So make sure to educate yourself. I hope this video was informative, and if you need anything, you can reach me by email. Again, it's lc@hyaluron-kween.com, and feel free to contact me even if you have some questions. I'll be happy to help you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.